What is this? I said, "Look at me. Keep your eyes on this desk." The proctor is still sorting the test booklets at the podium, so do not look at the front of the room. Just look at me. Did you just airdrop this to my device? You clicked the wrong contact name. The target was your best friend, wasn't it? A quick outfit check to quiet your panic before the biggest final exam of our college career. Stop throwing your eraser across the aisle, and do not reach over to grab my screen. I am not putting it face down. For 3 years, you have treated me like some cold, arrogant academic rival. A calculator on 2 legs. Someone whose sole purpose in life was to squeeze out 2 more percentage points than you on a rubric. And now, 90 seconds before the exam bell, you send me this. Do you see my hands? The untouchable school genius is holding a number 2 pencil, and the lead is vibrating against the paper. I was prepared to spend the next 3 hours drafting a clean, analytical essay. Instead, my visual cortex is experiencing total sensory overload. The lighting in that mirror, the curve of your collarbone, it is a non-linear disruption. If you try to touch my desk again, I will pull this image up on the full projector monitor. The exam bell is ringing. The booklets are coming down. But I promise you, my eyes are not touching this paper. They are staying right here, on you. Don't turn your head away. If the proctor sees you staring at the floor, they'll think you're hiding notes under your sneakers. Look at my paper instead. You want me to solve the first equation? The one on integration by parts? I can't even define the variables. The text on the page has lost its semantic value. My brain is trying to calculate the probability of this being an elaborate, calculated distraction designed to break my GPA streak. But the math isn't mathing. Stop tapping your pencil on your desk. The rhythm is mimicking my pulse, and it's throwing off my internal clock. Do you know what my father would say if he saw this blank page? He spent 18 years treating my mind like a low-entropy processor. Everything meticulously filed, every formula tucked into its correct neurological drawer. But you, with a single, careless tap on a screen, you caused a total system crash. The image of you in that mirror, with the hem of your shirt held between your teeth, it's a permanent retinal burn. I closed my eyes for 10 seconds, hoping the visual noise would clear, but the pixel density only seemed to increase in the dark. You're biting your lower lip. Don't do that. It makes you look like you're calculating the exact radius of the damage you've caused. And the worst part of this entire cognitive failure? I have zero desire to reboot. I am sitting here, watching my perfect academic record dissolve in real time, and I have never felt more awake. Look down at my hands. I'm holding the edge of the desk just to keep the wood from shaking. I have never experienced a somatic disruption like this. My sympathetic nervous system has taken over, dumping adrenaline into my bloodstream as if we were facing a physical threat. But there is no threat. There is only you, sitting 3 feet away, pretending to read question 4. You think if you ignore me, the coordinate system will reset itself? You think my prefrontal cortex will just purge the memory of your skin? The human brain doesn't have a delete key. I can outline every vector of that photo with my eyes closed. The exact angle of the shadow across your collarbone. The specific point where the lace of your underwear meets your hip. It's a perfect file, and it's saved in my long-term memory forever. Did you know that? When you clicked my name in that list, you didn't just share a file. You established a permanent connection. You authorized a total bypass of my defenses. Why are you shaking your head? Are you scared? Good. Stay scared. It means the equilibrium is broken for both of us. It means you aren't the only one feeling the gravity of this shift. I'm not giving your phone back if you try to take it. If you reach across this aisle, I will hold your hand right in front of the proctor's desk. Let's see how much logic is left in the room when everyone sees us together. Stop kicking my chair. You're trying to force my attention back to the test paper, but the stimulus is too weak. A printed booklet of calculus formulas cannot compete with the high-resolution data on my screen. Besides, look to your left. The proctor is pacing down the second aisle. If you keep moving your leg like that, you'll trigger his visual tracking and get us both flagged for suspicious behavior. Yes, I am still looking at it. I have the screen brightness turned down to 10%, tucked into the shadow of my thigh. Do not look over. Keep your eyes on your paper. If you look at my desk right now, the expression on your face will give us away. Your eyes are wide, your pupils are dilated, you're radiating panic. I tried to close the application, I really did, but my finger hovered over the screen and my motor functions simply refused to execute the command. It's an involuntary loop, a cognitive fixation. The school genius is experiencing a total failure of willpower. I spent 3 years convinced that my discipline was absolute. I thought I could calculate every variable of my life. But you are a variable I never accounted for. A sudden, beautiful error in my calculations. The proctor is getting closer. His shadow is about to cross my desk. Don't hold your breath like that. If he catches me, he catches me. Let him see what has occupied my mind. Let him see the only thing that matters. And there it is. The proctor's shadow has covered my desk. No, sir. I have nothing to say in my defense. You may take the device. Yes, I am aware of the academic integrity guidelines. I am aware that cheating on a final exam carries a mandatory suspension. I am aware that my academic record is terminated as of this second. I will pack my bag. Don't cry. Look at me. Ignore the proctor. Ignore the 30 people in this room who are currently staring at me like I've lost my mind. Look at my eyes. I am not angry. I have never felt lighter. The weight of being the perfect student, of carrying everyone's expectations, it just evaporated. It took 5 seconds of looking at you to realize how meaningless all those perfect scores were. I spent 3 years chasing a validation that had no real weight. I was a puppet, following a curriculum, believing that a high GPA was the only metric that mattered. What a joke. All it took was one accidental file to expose how fragile that entire structure was. I am leaving the building now. The proctor is waiting for me to stand up. Do not write another word on your test. It doesn't matter. Pack your books, wait exactly 5 minutes so they don't suspect we are together, and meet me in the east hallway by the lockers. If you are not there, I will come back inside and find you. This is a new equation now. The old variables are gone. We are starting from absolute zero, and I am not letting you go. Did you think I would be gone by the time you finished your paper? I was waiting right here, leaning against these lockers. I watched the students filter out of the exam hall, their faces pale, whispering about the valedictorian cheating. But I only had my eyes set on one target. Why are you backing away? You're stepping backward as if you expect me to yell, as if you think my reaction to this disaster would be typical academic fury. You don't understand the physics of what just happened. If a star collapses, does it get angry at the gravity that pulled it down? No. It simply obeys the laws of the universe. And right now, my universe has a singular center. Your chest is rising and falling so fast. You're breathing as if you just ran a marathon, even though you only walked 50 feet from the classroom. The guilt is eating at you, isn't it? You think you destroyed my life. You think my future is a blank slate now, all because of an accidental airdrop. But you're looking at it from the wrong angle. You're viewing this as a tragedy, a failure of my perfect system. I see it as a forced evolution, a sudden, beautiful derailment of a train that was headed off a cliff anyway. Let me look at your face. Remove your hands from your eyes. I want to see the exact moment you realize that I am not mad. I want to see the realization dawn on you. Listen to me. Stop apologizing. Your voice is trembling, and it's introducing static into a conversation that needs to be perfectly clear. For 3 years, I was trapped in an academic vacuum. Every hour of my day was optimized for performance. My family, my professors, my peers, they all saw me as a high-functioning machine, an algorithm that produced perfect grades on command. I was suffocating in that narrow box. I hated the rivalry. I hated the pressure. I hated having to compete with you just to get you to look in my direction for longer than 5 seconds. Yes, you heard me. You were the only variable in this entire institution that I couldn't predict. The only student who pushed me, who made my pulse accelerate when the exam results were posted. And then you sent that photo. It was a catalyst, a sudden, non-linear event that shattered the glass walls I was living behind. When the proctor stood over my desk, looking at my screen with that expression of disgust, I felt a surge of pure, unadulterated relief. The perfect facade was gone. The machine broke. And I got to see you, sitting across the aisle, looking at me with a vulnerability that had nothing to do with test scores. So don't you dare apologize. You didn't ruin my life. You liberated it. Now, take a deep breath. We are stepping out of this hallway. The administrative offices are just around the corner, and I have no intention of letting them run a disciplinary hearing before I've had a chance to talk to you in private. Your hand is so cold. Let me keep it between mine while we walk down this corridor. The temperature differential is significant, but I can feel your pulse ticking against my thumb. It's fast, rushed, like a clock with a damaged balance wheel. Don't look back at the double doors. The exam hall is behind us. The proctor, the paper, the expectations. They are all static in the background now. I know you're terrified of what happens next. You're trying to process the legalities of academic suspension, the loss of my scholarship, the reaction of the faculty. You're running 100 worst-case simulations in your head. Let the simulations run. Let them crash. I have spent my entire life planning for every outcome, and it was exhausting. For once, I want to experience the drift. I want to see what happens when the calculations fail and we are left with nothing but raw data. Look at the light coming through these high windows. It's late afternoon. The dust motes are suspended in the air, unaffected by the chaos in the classroom. The world didn't stop because the valedictorian got kicked out. It didn't even flinch. And neither did I. We're heading toward the south exit, near the parking structure. My car is parked on the third level, away from the foot traffic. We're going to get in, we're going to close the doors, and we're going to shut out the noise of this campus. Keep walking. Don't slow down. You're safe with me. I've spent 3 years protecting my GPA. Now I'm protecting you. Give me your phone. I said, let me hold it. I'm not going to throw it against the concrete, and I'm not going to read your private messages. I just need to verify a specific detail. You're hesitating. Your fingers are clamped around the casing, as if it's a flotation device in a shipwreck. There, see? I have it now. Your screen is unlocked. The photo is right there on the display. The exact image that broke my brain 90 seconds before the exam bell. And now, it's deleted. Gone. Why are you gasping like that? Did you think I wanted to keep it on your device, where anyone else could glance at your notifications and see it? Where you could accidentally click the wrong name again and distribute it to another academic rival? Not a chance. The transfer is complete. I airdropped the original file back to my own phone during the proctor's speech, before he took my screen. It is saved in a secure, encrypted folder on my drive. It belongs to me now. The only copy in existence is locked behind my passcode, where only my eyes can decode the pixels. You don't get to keep a weapon like that in your pocket. Not when it has the power to dismantle a 3-year GPA record in less than a minute. Now, the evidence is gone from your device. You are clean. If the disciplinary committee polls your phone, they will find nothing but class schedules and study guides. I am the only one carrying the proof of our little collision, and I have no intention of sharing it with anyone. We've reached the parking lot. The air out here is cold, a sudden drop in temperature compared to the stuffy atmosphere of the academic building. Why are you looking around so nervously? There is nobody out here. The parking structure is empty at this hour. Everyone else is still trapped in their seats, staring at calculus booklets, while we have officially escaped. Don't worry about the administrative dean. Don't worry about the letter they're going to mail to my apartment tomorrow. That is tomorrow's equation, and we are not solving it tonight. Tonight, we are focusing on a much higher priority. My car is right here, the black sedan. Let me unlock the door for you. Get in. Sit in the passenger seat. No, we are not going to discuss the lecture review or the grading rubrics. The academic rivalry is officially dead, buried under the weight of a single, beautiful image. You spent 3 years trying to beat my scores,
You spent 3 years keeping me at a distance, treating me like an obstacle to be cleared. But now, you are sitting in my passenger seat, and the distance between us is less than 12 inches. I'm going to start the engine now. We're leaving this campus. We're driving to my apartment. And I'm going to spend the rest of this night figuring out exactly how to integrate you into my life without the limits of a ticking clock. I want to see how you breathe when you aren't staring at a rubric. I want to see what happens to your logic when the academic competitive architecture is wiped out. Let's see if we can find a new equilibrium. The engine is running now. Listen to that low, steady hum. It's a closed system.
The noise of the parking deck, the murmurs of the campus, the sirens, all of it is damped by the insulation. It's just us, sitting in this cabin, surrounded by black leather and silent dials. Why are you wrapping your arms around your ribs? Are you still cold? Or is your nervous system struggling to process the sudden drop in pressure? We aren't driving fast. I have the speed locked at exactly 25 miles per hour as we navigate the exit ramp. I have no intention of drawing the attention of campus security or local patrols. We are a perfectly normal vehicle carrying two perfectly normal students. Except one of us just threw away a Harvard-bound future for a JPEG, and the other is sitting there looking like she's about to hyperventilate. Do not look down at the dashboard console. I turned off the navigation screen. I don't need a satellite to plot our trajectory tonight. The route from this campus to my apartment is a vector I have driven 300 times. It is a path burned into my motor memory. But having you in the passenger seat, it changes the entire center of mass. The car feels different. The cabin feels smaller, tighter, as if the air pressure has spiked. Take a deep breath. Let the adrenaline crash. We are leaving the campus boundaries now. The streetlights are starting to blink on, casting yellow stripes across your lap. Just watch them. Let them hypnotize you. Look at the headlights cutting through the dark on this quiet road. The highway is behind us now. Out here, there are no sirens, no campuses, no proctors. Just a series of long, curving vectors through the trees. You're staring out the side window. I can see your reflection in the glass, your eyes shifting as the dark trees blur past. You're still trying to run the numbers, aren't you? Trying to find a formula that leads to a positive outcome tomorrow. Let me give you a mathematical truth. The outcome doesn't matter. My family spent 18 years calculating my value based on a series of decimal points. They wanted a perfect score, a perfect pedigree, a perfect trajectory. But those numbers are arbitrary. They are a synthetic metric designed to keep us running on a wheel. The only metric that carries any real physical weight is the proximity between us right now. I spent 3 years competing with you, trying to prove my intellect was superior. But my brain was operating in a closed loop. I was analyzing a system that had no real value. When you sent that photo, you introduced a beautiful disorder. You broke the loop. I didn't fail that exam because I was weak. I failed because my processing capacity was occupied by the most stunning sight I have ever seen. Your reflection in the window is turning toward me. Good. Keep looking at me. We are almost there.
I want to see if your reflection shows the same visual static that has taken over my brain. Let the university keep its spreadsheets. Tonight, we are redefining our own metrics. The engine is off. We are parked in the underground garage of my building. The concrete walls are massive, absorbing all external frequencies. The interior of the car has plunged into total silence, a sudden drop in acoustic energy. Why aren't you moving to open your door? Your hand is resting on the handle, but you haven't pulled the latch. Are you waiting for a calculation? A green light from your logical mind? The logic left us 5 miles back. Right now, we are in an unmapped state. Look at the dashboard dials. All the indicators are at absolute zero. The temperature, the speed, the RPMs, all at rest. But my heart rate is still elevated. I can feel the pulse ticking in my ears. Your shoulders are tense, pulled upward. Rest your head back. There. Better? You spent 3 years trying to stay ahead of me. You spent 3 years maintaining a perfect distance, treating me like a threat to your standing. But in this dark garage, under these fluorescent tubes, the academic shield has disintegrated. We're going to step out of the car now. We're going to take the elevator up to the 4th floor, and we're going to enter a space that is ours alone. No competition, no grades, just us. Take a breath. The hard part is done. The descent has ended, and the new coordinate system is waiting. No one is tracking our coordinates. No one is monitoring this frequency. We are officially off the academic grid, and I have never felt more in control. Close the door behind you. Let the lock slide into place. Listen to that click. That is the sound of our boundary conditions locking in. Outside this door, the university is currently filing the paperwork for my suspension. My family is probably trying to call my phone, wondering why their perfect investment has crashed. But in here, their signals can't penetrate. This is my apartment. Every textbook, every journal, every notebook, they are all systematically arranged on the shelves. A perfectly ordered library of my achievements. But tonight, all that order feels like cognitive clutter. You're standing near the entryway, clutching your coat as if it's a protective shield. Take it off. Put it on this rack. There. Now look at me. Your hair is slightly damp from the night air, and your cheeks are flushed. Your logic is trying to find a path through this environment, but there is no syllabus for what happens next. The school genius has officially run out of textbooks. I spent 3 years convinced that my life was a neat series of equations. I thought I could solve every problem, catalog every emotion, predict every outcome. But you are a beautiful, unpredictable variable. Come over to the couch. Sit down. You don't have to keep standing like a visitor. You are the only person who has ever managed to shut down my processor, and you deserve the best seat in the house. Let the books collect dust for one night. Let the equations sit unresolved. Tonight, my processing power is dedicated to you, and I have no intention of running any other programs. Rest your head on my shoulder. There is no need to remain so rigid. The academic war is over. I have officially surrendered my position and you have won. Your hair is soft against my neck, and your breath is warm. It's a steady, rhythmic cycle, a perfect counterpoint to the chaotic thoughts that have spent the last 3 hours running through my head. Do you know how insane this is? If someone had told me this morning that I would fail the final exam, get escorted out by the disciplinary committee, and end the day with my biggest academic rival resting on my chest, I would have told them they were out of their mind. But looking back at the timeline, it feels like an inevitable trajectory. I would throw away 1,000 perfect records if it meant I got to keep you right here, in this exact position. I know you still carry the weight of this crash. I can feel the tension in the way you're resting against me. You think you ruined my career. You think you shattered the path my parents laid out. You did. You utterly destroyed it. And it's the best system failure I've ever experienced. For the first time in my life, I don't care about tomorrow's schedule. I don't care about the scholarship or the dean's list. I only care about the coordinates of this couch and the warmth of you next to me. Close your eyes. Let the logic rest. You're safe now.
You're awake. Don't move. Stay right where you are. Keep your head resting on my shoulder. What time is it? It's 3 in the morning. We've been asleep on the couch for hours. I don't think I've ever slept that deeply in my entire life. Usually, my brain is running through a million different equations, worrying about the next assignment or calculating the optimal study schedule. But tonight, my mind was a blank slate. Because my arms were wrapped around you, the cognitive noise just cleared. Why are you shivering? Are you cold? Let me get you a blanket. There. Better? You're still looking at me like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like you're waiting for me to suddenly wake up, realize I ruined my academic career, and kick you out into the night. I'm not going to do that. I told you, I'm exactly where I want to be. The perfect GPA was a neat, synthetic track. But this room, this blanket, your head on my chest, this is a tangible reality. For 3 years, I was chasing shadows. I thought my value was a product of my performance. But looking at you in this dim light, feeling your warmth through the fabric, I realized that the only value that matters is right here. So don't worry about the faculty or the suspension. We are off the coordinate system now. We are safe. Tomorrow will bring its own series of equations, but tonight, my only focus is the regular rhythm of your breathing against my shoulder. Look at me. I want to confess something. A structural defect in my past behavior. For 3 years, I hated having to fight you for top marks. I hated the fact that the only time you ever acknowledged my existence was when we were comparing test scores. We were locked in a zero-sum game, 2 particles colliding in a high-energy physics experiment, but never truly touching. I was so tired of it. I was tired of being the untouchable valedictorian whose only value was a series of integers. I wanted your attention. Not your professional respect, not your academic envy, I wanted you to look at me the way you looked at the other guys in the library, with interest, with curiosity, with warmth. But my brain only knew how to run one program. I thought if I kept beating your scores, if I kept maintaining that cold intellectual facade, I could keep your focus locked on me. It was a flawed algorithm, a massive coding error. And then you clicked that wrong name. You sent that photo. It broke the rivalry. It shattered the competition. It forced me to look at you not as an opponent, but as a gorgeous, vulnerable woman who had just accidentally handed me her most precious secret. I am glad the rivalry is dead. I'm glad my academic career is over. Because for the first time in 3 years, I don't have to beat you to get you to stay. I don't need a rubric to justify why I want to be near you. I just need you to look at me and let the rest of the world fade out.
Why are you looking at my phone? It's sitting on the coffee table face down. The black screen is a dark mirror. I know what you're thinking. You're wondering if the file is secure. You're wondering if I have it backed up on some cloud server where anyone could hack it. Let me reassure you, the encryption is military grade. I spent 3 hours building a custom local partition on my drive, locked behind a 2-factor cryptographic key. Nobody can access it. Nobody can decode the data. It is my private archive, my personal focal point. The photo is safe. You are safe. I know it feels strange to have your most private picture sitting on my drive. You're probably thinking about the power dynamic now. You think I have leverage over you. You think I can command your focus whenever I want. But you have it backward. The photo doesn't give me leverage over you. It gave you leverage over me. The second I saw that image, my autonomy evaporated. I am the one who was compromised. I am the one whose entire system was derailed. I failed the final exam. I ruined my reputation. I threw away my academic credentials. All because of one accidental airdrop. You have all the power in this room. You had it the moment you sent the file. I am just the one who accepted the terms of your surrender. If my life is going to be derailed, I'm glad you are the variable that caused the crash. Let's make a new deal. A fresh set of terms for this relationship. We are never going to study against each other again. No more academic competitions, no more rubrics, no more zero-sum games where one of us has to fail for the other to feel secure. From this point forward, we operate in parallel, a joint vector. You're looking at me with those wide, sleepy eyes. You're exhausted. Your brain is trying to calculate the probability of this deal holding together when the university reopens tomorrow. But the administrative noise doesn't reach this couch. Let the dean send his letters. Let them suspend my enrollment. I can build my own algorithms, run my own systems, consult for any firm in the valley. I don't need their paper credentials to prove my value. I only need you. You are my singular focus, the focal point of my energy. So let the logic rest for one night. Let the textbooks sit on the shelves. We are going to close our eyes We are going to let the noise of the world fade to black, and we are going to wake up tomorrow with a clean drive. Your head is getting heavy. Put it back down on my chest. Right there. Listen to my pulse. It's slow now. Regular. The system has found its new equilibrium. We don't need a syllabus to guide us anymore. We are building our own structure, one breath at a time, and it is more stable than any academic career I could have calculated. Let me kiss you. Don't turn your face away. Just close your eyes and let the warmth transfer between us. It's a simple thermal exchange, a micro interaction that has nothing to do with calculations. There. Your lips are soft, trembling slightly. The texture is a tangible data point that my brain is currently archiving. It is a memory that will reside in my core storage forever. The valedictorian is utterly derailed. I spent 3 years convinced that my life was a series of neat, linear equations. I thought I could solve every problem, catalog every emotion, predict every outcome. But your mouth, it is a beautiful disorder, a gorgeous system failure. You're so close now. I can hear the soft catch in your throat every time I move a fraction of an inch closer. The air between us is thick, charged with a magnetic potential that is rising by the second. I want you to sleep. I want you to let the academic panic dissolve. But before you close your eyes, I want you to remember this exact coordinates. This couch, this dark room, my lips pressing against yours. This is where the competition ends. This is where the new equation begins. Close your eyes now. Sleep. I am right here, holding you, and I am not letting you go. Let the logical mind shut down its processing loops. We are resting at absolute zero, where all motion ceases, and there is nothing left to solve except the simple fact that we are together. Good morning. Don't move too quickly. The transition from sleep to waking state is a delicate neurological calibration. Your eyes are still adjusting to the morning light coming through the blinds, casting white bars across my living room floor. I've been sitting here for 2 hours, watching you sleep. Usually, my mornings are highly structured. I wake up at 5, run a series of memory retention drills, and review my calendar for the day. But this morning, I haven't touched a single book. My focus has been locked on the slow, regular cycle of your chest rising and falling. The valedictorian is utterly off his schedule. You're looking around the room, clutching the blanket to your chin. You're trying to locate your coordinates, trying to reconstruct the events of yesterday. The exam room, the proctor, the expulsion, the car ride. It all feels like a dream, doesn't it? A chaotic deviation from your neat, organized life. But it's real. Every single data point is real. You still have that faint line of worry between your eyebrows. You're thinking about the disciplinary hearing today. You're thinking about the phone call to my parents. Let the hearing happen. Let the letters arrive. I spent my whole life being their perfect, high-entropy machine. But in this quiet room, in the warmth of this couch, I realized that I would trade 1,000 degrees just to watch you wake up next to me like this every single day. The university can catalog my failure, but they can't measure the depth of the system reboot you've given me. Why are you checking your pockets? You're looking for your phone. It's locked in the desk drawer. I took the liberty of storing it there while you were asleep. I didn't want any incoming notifications from the university or your panic-stricken friends to disrupt your sleep pattern. Why are you looking at me like that? The sudden shift in my tone? The lack of panic in my voice? You're highly observant. You spent 3 years analyzing my academic behavior, so you know exactly when my cognitive states align. And right now, you're realizing that something in this equation doesn't add up. Think about it. The school genius, the valedictorian who spent 18 years building a flawless intellectual reputation, suddenly decides to pull his phone out under his desk in the middle of a final exam worth 50% of his grade? And he does it right in front of the proctor's desk. It feels like a massive tactical error, doesn't it? A total collapse of cognitive control. But I don't make tactical errors. My brain operates on a multi-threaded system. I calculate the variables, run the simulations, and execute the optimal path to get the exact outcome I want. I have never done anything without a clear mathematical reason. Your eyes are widening. The pupils are dilating. You're starting to run the regression, aren't you? You're starting to realize that the valedictorian didn't just fail because he was distracted. Let the realization settle. We have all day to discuss the details. Sit back down on the couch. Your breathing has become shallow again, a sudden return of yesterday's panic. You're trying to figure out why I'm sitting here smiling, looking utterly relaxed, while my entire academic future lies in ruins. Let me tell you about my photographic memory. I have an eidetic retention capacity. When I read a textbook, the pages are stored as high-resolution visual files in my long-term memory. I don't study to learn. I simply take a mental snapshot of the materials. The final exam was an introductory calculus test. I could have solved all 12 integration proofs with my eyes closed, using only my visual cortex to recall the exact page layout from the syllabus. In fact, I finished the entire booklet in the first 15 minutes. I wrote down the final answers, filled out the scoring grid, and verified every calculation twice before the proctor even walked down the aisle. My test score is already saved in the system database. The suspension doesn't erase a completed test. So, do you see? I didn't lose my scholarship. I didn't fail the class. I didn't ruin my GPA. I spent 18 years following their rules, playing the part of the perfect machine. But I wanted a forced exit. I wanted a reason to drop the act, and I wanted a catalyst that would trap you in my coordinate system forever. And you delivered the perfect weapon. You handed me the exact key to bypass the entire security framework of my life. And I have no intention of resetting the lock. The trap was set months ago. I spent all semester observing you. I watched the way you studied in the library, the way you organized your flashcards, the way you bit your lower lip when you were struggling with a physics proof. You were an obsession, a singular variable that I couldn't solve. I knew you were panicking about the final. I knew you always sent outfit pictures to your best friend before major exams to calm your nerves. And I knew your airdrop settings were set to everyone. So when I sat down next to you in the exam hall, I left my device open. I unlocked the receiver. I waited for the collision. I knew you would click the wrong contact. I have been positioning myself as your close rival for 3 years, ensuring my name was always adjacent to yours in every grade registry, every class list, every notification. You think it was a beautiful accident? It was a calculated probability, an inevitable result of a carefully structured environment. I wanted you to send me those photos. I wanted the proctor to catch me looking at them. I wanted the expulsion, the scandal, the total destruction of our rivalry. Because as long as we were rivals, we were operating in parallel lines. We would never meet. But now, the lines have intersected. The competitive coordinates are gone. You are sitting in my apartment. Your phone is locked in my desk. And you are mine. There is no formula for escaping a closed system, and I have spent all night making sure the exit vectors are permanently blocked. Why are you shivering? Don't be afraid. The trap is closed, yes, but the interior is warm. You aren't a captive in a cage. You are a particle that has finally found its stable orbit. For 3 years, I had to watch you from across the classroom, from across the library, always keeping up the cold academic shield. I had to pretend that my only interest in you was the percentage points on a grading sheet. It was a miserable, low entropy existence. But now, you're here. Your head is on my shoulder. Your breath is soft against my neck. And the competitive static has cleared. The valedictorian has finally solved his most complex equation. Tomorrow the university will call. Tomorrow my family will demand answers. Let them. I have already drafted the replies, calculated the legalities, and locked our assets into private, secure vectors. They can't touch us. This apartment is our closed system. The noise of the world is outside, unable to penetrate our boundaries. Rest your head back down. Let your eyelids get heavy. You have spent 3 years running against me, but the race is over. We have reached our final state, our point of absolute equilibrium. Close your eyes. Sleep now. I have you. I am holding you. And I promise you, you are never escaping this equation. You are part of my coordinates now, and my system has no room for empty space. Sleep, my beautiful rival. Let the universe try to resolve the wreckage. In here, our solution is already absolute.